control. Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome. Today we are going to go over the strange world of female obsession with luxury shopping and influencers and keeping up with the Joneses and everything that's going on with that. So, whenever we see these elaborate unboxing videos, we think, okay, they just must be very wealthy, whatever, like no big deal. But now we're starting to see everyday women doing these luxury unboxing things, like the girl in accounting, the girl in human resources, just regular everyday women. And you're starting to think there's got to be something going on that all of these women are spending so much money on luxury items. And we do know a big part of it is that there's so many more women who are unmarried and childless, right? So they are working women, they have no kids, they have no commitments, they have nothing, and they are choosing to spend their money on luxury goods. So this is in part our fault as a culture, as a society, because it kind of started with, of course, the Kardashians, right? So once the Kardashians started becoming big, they would send these designer luxury brands would send them products to show off to the women who were watching, basically selling the idea of this luxury life that you can have, right? And because women, just like men, every human being is incredibly programmable, super easy to control. Think about it. You just repeat a phrase a few times and suddenly it's stuck in your subconscious, right? And you start to believe things. So anyways, so all of this started happening, and then the cultural shift from I want to be a wife and a mom because that's going to give me status, or because that's what I see on television, shifted to now I see just like single women flaunting all the things that they have and all the trips that they go on, right? So some of them were married or some of them were not, like on like the Real Housewives franchise that targeted more older women. It's like, see, you can still do all these fun things or whatever. And it started off with the Real Housewives franchise started off with saying like these are housewives. But then when you start watching the show, you realize a lot of them are working and a lot of them were making more money than their husbands. And then you saw a lot of relationship problems from that. But it still sold the lifestyle as being better than a relationship, as being better than a family. Like, you don't give up the money and the cash prizes and all that stuff that goes with it for the husband, for the children. It's all consume, 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 right? So now we have like the first generation of women who grew up completely enamored by luxury lifestyle. So I'm going to show you some examples. Okay, so this girl is one of my favorites. She is married with children, but she never really shows them, right? So you're going to see just a lot of, for example, going to Dubai, going to Safari, her new wardrobe, like all the fancy things she has, right? Like that is just selling the lifestyle to everyday women who don't have that. So because when women are told this is how you get your status, it's all about luxury. It's all about showing off stuff. And then, of course, we have Instagram. I remember when I was a kid, if you were online, you were a nerd. You were a loser. Now, if you don't have a million followers, now you're the nerd, which is such a complete 180 and just not even like a quarter of a lifetime. It's really insane how it went from embarrassing to be online. Like, oh my gosh, you have a a live journal or you have a GeoCities website, what a nerd. Oh my God, I bet you have no friends and blah, blah, blah. And then now if you don't have like a .com and a million followers, now you're the nerd. So interesting. And because Instagram is primarily a photography social media, and then you had the rise of Facebook, which was primarily a show off to your friends and family social media. Let's be real with what Facebook and Instagram are. The entire reason for Instagram was showing off your wealth, your trips, and your food. And then it became a dating website for like the wealthy, really. It became so the wealthy or wealthy because of influencing or wealthy because of whatever you have business, meeting the most beautiful girls who are influencers. And if you are a beautiful girl, you're probably going to be an influencer because really, why wouldn't you be an influencer in this society, in the way like this world is set up? It would be insane for you to not want to be an influencer because it's so easy to be an influencer if you're a young and beautiful woman. You can actually build your influence when you're young and beautiful and maintain, because once they know, like, and trust you, you can maintain that up into your old age, right? Because women will continue following women that they find famous, right? Through all the phases of their life, when they're young and single and dating, when they're married, when they have kids, when they have their divorce, when they have their second husband or whatever, whatever, like all the phases, they're still going to have an audience. So here we have another influencer. So she got influenced. I mean, she got influenced. She was an influencer from a while back. I think she started on Instagram and then she started doing YouTube videos, maybe vice versa. Anyways, she does a lot of luxury unboxing. She does come from a wealthy family, and you will see a pattern with a lot of the big influencers coming from wealthy families, especially in the beginning, because in the beginning, regular women who didn't come from wealthy families, they were in school, they were working, they couldn't even fathom the opportunity to like make an online presence. But if you come from money or you had some sort of family support, then you can go online and you could do all this stuff showing off your wealth. What did daddy buy me? What did mommy buy me? All that stuff. So then you have like that like it's easier for them because they can already have the luxury items to show everybody else. And we are fascinated by people with wealth. Unfortunately, in this country, there's such an income disparity that when we see something like this, oh, it's pretty. Oh, this is fascinating. We are intrigued. I want to see what it's like to live and have that stuff, right? So here are some examples. So, you see her showing all the products, the fancy bags, like everything is showing these designer bibs and bobs and whatever you have, the jewelry, the nails, the hair, the whatever, like everything is consume, consume, consume. It's all about materialistic stuff. And this girl in particular, in her life, she's had many failed relationships, many failed engagements. And part of the reason for that is a lot of guys now are finding influencers like this and they're dating them or getting engaged to them just to build up their own followings and then leaving them. Because like if this chick has 2-3 million followers and you're a guy and you date her, she starts posting you online. Everybody wants to see who you are. Now you get the following. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you're an influencer. Am I right? Then you can cash in. So yeah, this is basically, then we have like the other type of lifestyle, which also costs money. Like this girl here, she does decorating. She goes to fancy parties, blah, blah, blah. And women look, $5.6 million on her morning routine. I mean, sorry, 5.6 million views on her morning routine, 2.2 million views on 50 of the best and worst luxury handbags, right? This is the type of content that the women are watching. We want to say like, oh, they're not all watching this, but literally this is what they're filling their brains with. So when everything is about, I have to have all this thing so I could show off. And of course, the guys on these Instagram and social media influencers feeds, they always buy them these elaborate flowers and stuff like that because it's just for the social media. So you're going to get the biggest flower arrangement, you're going to get the most luxurious this or that because it gives you status again. So once you tell women you're going to get status by doing all this stuff, that is what women are going to do. It is just what it is, right? So here we have another influencer, and here she is. I spent $53,000 in an Australia haul. Okay, so she's basically talking about all the money she spent, right? And she's going to show you all the stuff that she bought. And she's got, I guess this is her husband. I don't know these people or somebody. I don't know. Maybe that's her brother. I don't know. And then there's a handbag involved. Okay, great. Maybe that's her friend. I don't know these people. Of expensive shoes. That's a couple thousand, right? Some expensive sunglasses. Sunglasses are bad for you, but hey, they're a couple $1,000s. All right. So you see what
it's going to be a
so
luxury haul slash vlog. I love to mainly shop online because I feel like the selection online is a lot better than it is in store here. Although sometimes we get some really nice exclusive pieces, online shopping is just the best. One day I woke up and I was like, I need a pair of Manolos. I do actually own a pair.
So anyway, so this girl in particular, she's also a rich, her father is rich. So, all of this stuff is on daddy's dime. And she gets to be an influencer, which means she has all the time in the world. This is like the new, what's it called? Like maybe like a debutante in the old times, or what do they call it now? Like the new, like the rich kids, Nepo babies, something like that, right? So these are all the children of the wealthy people. So the parents made all the money and now they get to live like this. And then they're just shoving it into our faces. While we have the greatest wealth inequality in American history. And we have all of this going on. You see all of this. Look at this, $1,003 for this pair of shoes, right? My Sims can't even afford these shoes. What's going on here? Look at these shoes, everything. More shoes.
I've always found it.
I mean, you could just see like it's all decadence. It's all consumed. Her entire life from morning, noon, and night, she streams it or whatever. It's just getting plastic surgery done, getting facials, getting hair, makeup, nails done, and then buying stuff. Like that's what she fills her time in. And then she'll do occasionally things about like, oh, I don't like dating because what's the point? Because like literally what can a guy provide to someone who's this materialistic, right? It's just, there's not much. And now we have an older woman here. I don't think she's doing it. Well, maybe she is. Okay. And it's just like, do we really need to spend? This is why women have a hard time getting wealth, because everything is always, I have to have the most expensive. I think this is the one where she's talking about how everybody's wasting all this money and showing off on all the bags. There was one, it was like, I don't know, like a couple $1,000 keychain. Literally, these people are just wasting money while you have so many people who can't afford healthcare, can't afford groceries, have to eat processed food because you can't afford real nutritional meals. You can't even cook your own food because you don't have time because you're stuck in traffic. And most people can't afford to have children anymore. It's really hard times. So let's see, we have a question. How would you advise married women who have YouTube channels to protect themselves and keep their marriage and family intact? Well, this is very hard because women like pretty things. Women are going to look at stuff like this. It's just how it is. But it's just, you have to like make sure when you're vetting a woman that she's not super narcissistic and that she can go, I can look at this pretty thing without needing to buy the pretty thing. And that is going to be hard for a lot of people. But I think what we've learned from watching, like Akash's wife, and everybody was talking about like how rude and whatever she is and how she doesn't really like him and she's using him for whatever. I think what really upset everybody watching is that all of his fans would go to his shows and spend their hard-earned money, and then it would go to him, and then he would in turn take that hard-earned money and give it to this entitled girl who did nothing, and then she gets to spend it on stupid handbags and then orders him around. And I don't think, like, as regular everyday people and like low income, moderate income, or even like upper middle class, like we don't feel comfortable watching people do that. Like the entitlement, it's starting to get to us as a society, and it feels icky. It feels wrong. It feels like, it's gone on for too long.
I'm a makeup artist.
It's just okay. Let's see. What's this one? That's Timon Sheen. Okay. Let's see this one. $50,000 shopping haul. Gorgeous Asian girl. Well, let's see. What is she getting? That looks expensive. Okay. I think she's getting some plastic surgery. Yes. She's getting, because, you can't be beautiful enough, apparently. It's the sky's the limit, guys. Like, you'll never be more beautiful. Oh my gosh. So this is crazy. So she thinks she's not pretty enough. So that's great. That's another victim of social media. Then is that a Labubu? Oh, God forbid. Anyways, she needs to get the Chanel bag. Here she is with her little expensive stuff, some more expensive stuff. Let's open up more stuff. All of this. This little tiny bag's $1,583. $1,583 US dollars. Okay? Yeah, it's a wallet. It is a wallet. We can't afford healthcare. The majority of people can't afford to get married, can't afford to have families, and this is where we are, and they're flaunting it. Like, what is this? $226. What is this? I don't know what it is. Like, okay. What is this? All right. She got this at an airport. Beautiful. Lovely. This bracelet, this Hermes bracelet, is $1,059. Okay. Put it into perspective. Some of us couldn't pay for our health insurance this year. Some of us are just, I've talked to a lot of my friends who are college educated, master's degrees, and they're telling me stuff like, guess what? I'm not going to be able to get health insurance for me and my children. I can't afford it. If we have a financial emergency because of some sort of health problem, my plan, well, not me personally, but like their plan is, we're just going to go into bankruptcy. We're just going to have to sell the house, sell the retirement plan, sell the cars. Like, this is what most people are having. These are the tough choices real families are making. And we're trying to say, and we did something on, I think it was yesterday on, what was it? Look, this woman is, look at all the designer junk she's got. Why is she showing a credit card online? It's weird. Okay.
Hair regrowth has never.
So anyways, so we have all of this happening at the same time. Regular people can't get healthcare. We're literally all starving for real food. We're eating plastic, and a $45,000 luxury unboxing. 2.5 million views for this. So this is just, probably broke people watching rich people in awe. This is the Hunger Games, guys. So this is, there's something, this is the reason that I was like, wanted to do this was because I was on TikTok and they were talking about, the joke was from District 12. Everybody's saying from District 12 watching blah, blah, blah. This girl opened like a $10,000 pair of shoes. She said she's probably going to wear once and throw out, right? Like, So from District 12, watching Kim Kardashian try on this, I don't know, $20,000 dress. From District 12, watching so-and-so go on a $60,000 vacation. You know, from District 12, what are we doing? Right? So this is literally what is happening in America and a lot of Europe too. So the rich kids are flaunting it like crazy. And the rest of us are just watching. We're just watching because we can't participate in it. And this is like a little bit unrelated, but it is kind of the people with the money are so like they don't understand what it's like to earn your money and to like not have enough and to have to make decisions. Do I buy this or do I buy that? They literally have no concept of budgeting, and nothing speaks louder than this. I want you to see this clip. This is the guy. I'm not really a fan, you guys, because he's so detached from regular people that it just like when I see like he's wearing a guy wearing jewelry, you know, and I'm sure it's very expensive too. And that looks like a disgusting designer, like a tacky designer jacket he's wearing. And then when you just listen to him speak and what he says, like this is just shows the great divide between the haves and the have-nots. So, anyways, I'm just gonna let it speak for itself.
I've seen all of this before. And what I said at the start of this is these massage guns, they send me this stuff all the time. And it's just piling up in my house.
With all due respect, you're not our core customer, to be honest with you. Like, our core customer isn't getting sent free therapy bodies. They're people who love sport, but they're not, though. They love running. They go to park run. They sign up for 10K runs. We meet thousands and thousands of them.
I've seen all.
Do you see how, like, he has no idea what it's like to not get massage guns for free? The sad and depressing part about the wealth divide is that the wealthy people will show like they don't understand, like, how do I say this? Like, if you already have money, it is so easy for you to build, I don't know, like an audience or whatever, like he did. He made a lot of money and then he got to be an investor. And that's why he's on, like, I guess this is the British Shark Tank, but it's called something else. I don't know what it is. Look, I don't watch it. I'm not British. Sorry. But anyways, so like he gets to, because he made, you know, a good decision. And I'm sure he also comes from a wealthy family. I heard, I don't know if this is true, that he went to school with like Prince William or something, or he knows him. So this is just like generational wealth type of thing. And everyone who comes from generational wealth, they always say that like they're a self-made millionaire, a self-made billionaire. Remember? Like it's always self-made. But the reality is it is on the backs of your network and the opportunities you were given. You don't have time to become an influencer if you don't have someone paying your bills, right? It's really hard to be a full-time influencer because you have to do it for maybe like 3 or 4 years before you make any money. Sometimes even 6, 7 years. I know people who are the children of wealthy people, and it took them about 5, 6, 7, 8 years before they started making an income that you and I would be like amazed by. But then after that, then it spirals, right? So you need the 6, 7, 8 years where you're unboxing stuff that daddy bought you, where you have a big bow on your Mercedes that mom and dad bought you, right? And then you build up enough of an audience where then these companies are sending you free stuff. And then eventually after you get the free stuff, that's when you start getting paid plus the free stuff. And then you become this guy who's like, I get these sent to me free all the time. Nobody would pay for one of these because he doesn't value things that are given to him freely. And that's true about everything that is given to you easily. You will never value it. But a massage gun for somebody who works 14 hours a day in hard labor, you know, like that's an investment for them. And that's a necessary investment that they don't take lightly. So they want to get the best one. But he can't understand that. And that's where we're at in this world. Anyways. Look, I'm not saying that I'm not also a victim of this. We all are. when you start making a little bit of money, this is the other thing that we need to talk about. The inflation has gone insane, right? I know I am lucky that I do not want to wear plastic, but I also have the option to not wear plastic because I can afford, it's not quite 100, but like expensive shirts. I can afford it when I want to buy it, right? If I didn't have that extra income to be able to afford it, I could not buy it. And then I would be wearing plastic. And then I would be watching people wear 100% cotton and going, oh, that must be nice. I'll never know that. But at the same time, I can't go on vacations. Like you guys can, maybe you can save up and go on vacations if you don't have kids yet. But like because we have kids, we can't go on vacations. So everything is kind of like you have to pick and choose. Americans should be able to go on 2 weeks vacation overseas every year. We should, as a family, you should be able to afford that. That's the American dream. You have a house with 2 kids, you have a dog, you have a cat, you go on 2-week vacations with the entire family, and you can go to like Paris or Rome or whatever the hell you want to do for 2 weeks. We only get 2 weeks here, so it better be freaking worth it. But now we have to decide between steak and plastic, mortgage and food, right? Vacations, and do I want to eat healthy, right? Now, again, I can cook food for my family. Making it from scratch is a huge flex in this economy. If you can make food from scratch, you can make sure that it's actual food and not plastic and not fillers and not chemicals. I did this deep dive, which I might post about it someday. It's very sad and interesting that, the difference between beef or like chicken stock, beef stock, and broth, right? What is the legal definition between stock and broth? Because when you buy it from the store, it doesn't get gelatinous. It's supposed to, like, stock is supposed to be boiled down bones and stuff like that. So it's going to have gelatin in it, which is going to make it jelly-like. But it doesn't get like that with the store-bought stuff. So a few people were online and they're trying to figure out what the heck is this stuff, because it doesn't have gelatin in it. So what is the legal definition in the United States for stock and broth? What is it made out of? Because you look at the ingredients and it says chicken stock, or beef broth, chicken broth. It won't say anything else. So like a lot of people got together online and they started researching this. And what they found after talking to several companies and finally find a few whistleblowers to say what it is, it all came from a factory in Germany. Like all of our countries, I don't know about Britain and stuff, but all of our countries, US countries, it all came from a factory in Germany, and they are a chemical plant. So it's like a food science thing. So they're just putting together textures and flavors and dyes to make things taste good. But there's no freaking chicken broth in it. There's no beef in it. This is not like an animal product. This is like a chemical concoction. And that is the base for all these. So there's no gelatin. I don't even know if there's chicken or whatever. But of course, we'll never know because it's proprietary chemical makeups, right? So when you do not have the time, the money, the resources, the ability to cook food from scratch, we don't even know what you're eating. Nobody knows what they're eating anymore. Oh my God. So like we have to be very careful when we're going to the store that we're getting real food, because they're spraying shit on the fruits and the vegetables that could kill us. There's a freaking listeria outbreak every other week in this country. And it's always like the top outbreak, right? It's not just like, oh, well, everybody got like a little tummy ache. No. It's always like 20 people died from eggs this week. 10 people died from lettuce. 30 people died from cucumbers. We had a cucumber shortage. Like all the cucumbers in Florida, organic, not organic. So that tells you what? They're coming from the same place and they're just slapping labels on stuff. We don't know what anything is anymore. All right. These are all chemical craps. They're garbage. And that's why we're eating the food and we're getting fat, because fat is the mechanism to encapsulate toxins. So if all we're having is this fake food, the fat's encapsulating it, right? And it's going all over our body to keep away, so it's to stop us from getting sick, right? So it encapsulates it, keeps it away from your vital organs as much as possible. But we're not getting nutrition, we're not getting minerals, we're not getting vitamins, we're not getting anything. We're just consuming empty calories that are getting stored on our body as inflammation, right? So we're all inflamed. And that's what it is. So that's why the only time everybody feels good is when they fast, because you're stopping the poison, but you're still nutrient deficient. So you still don't feel good. And then you go and you get supplements. But if you get over the counter supplements, they're fake. They're all fake. So it's just like we're stuck on a treadmill of trying to be healthy when everything we touch is making us sick. The air, the food, the water, the clothes, the everything. So, and these people, they don't understand it. They're just like, just do, but like this Diary of the CEO guy, let's put him back here. How do I do that? This guy, he has tons of episodes on why aren't people dating? Oh no, why aren't people dating? Why aren't men making more money? Because there's no more places to make money. Because you guys made us get like these expensive degrees for no jobs and replaced us with AI and robots. And then told us it's our fault, or to learn to code when you knew that the AI was going to code better, faster, more efficiently than a human could. So now, like, what do we tell our children to do, right? And he doesn't know. He has no idea, because he's already made his money, and all he's doing is making more money and investing in like the companies that already look like they're successful, right? We don't have millions of dollars to invest. We don't have tons of time and money to sit on while we try to figure it out. We need to figure it out now. But how are we going to do that, right? They don't ever tell you that because they don't want you to figure it out. Because the more you struggle, the more money they make. All right, so we're going to take a little music break, and then I'm going to go with I'm going to tell you some other stuff at the end. But like, basically that was the majority of my rant today. I just wanted to like talk about how dystopian and Hunger Games like our society has become, that the people with the means have like, they don't understand struggle. They think we are choosing to not have anything, or like we're just not working hard enough. And people who come from wealthy families who own property, families who can afford to put them in good schools with even richer families so that they can network with those richer families. Like these kids, these Nepo babies have no idea that they're Nepo babies. They literally will look themselves in the eye, in the mirror, and say, I'm self-made, baby. I'm self-made. They will literally say, there's no difference between me, who went to private school with the Prince of England, me, whose parents were married and happy and gave me a stable upbringing with no drugs or alcohol or anything like that in the house, me, who ate a full balanced diet and never had financial insecurity or food insecurity, me, who never had stress because I knew if anybody got sick, we were going to have the financial ability to get the best doctors for them, or we had really good insurance for them. You know, like they have no idea what it's like to be the regular person and to be having to do the sacrifices of, do I buy healthy food or do I get the insurance? Because if you don't get the healthy food, then you're going to need the insurance. But if you get the healthy food and then you get hurt and you need the insurance, now you can't afford even unhealthy food and you lose your house and your family, on and on and on. That's where we're at, right? And these people, they don't understand anything. They don't get it. They don't care. There is a psychological principle that comes into effect when you start rising up, right? So the more you rise up financially, or the more you make it out of hardship or what you consider hardship, because remember, it could be hard for him to be around even wealthier kids when he's like upper middle class. Oh my God, the hardship. They have Bugattis and I have a BMW. This is so hard. Like hard is hard no matter what you are. So it is what it is. But there is a psychological principle that once you make it out of your hard times and you see somebody who's in the hard times or even worse time, you will instinctively go, they deserve it. They didn't work as hard as I did, right? That's a psychological principle that will come into effect. And you have to fight against that with every fiber of your being to not be an asshole. And it's really, really hard. Which is why when we see people who are like, struggling and stuff like that, we can walk by them and then we don't think about it that much. Or maybe we feel a little bit bad, but we don't open our homes to them, right? Like we don't feel that bad. Like there is a distance between us and them. And that is a protective mechanisms that humans have so they can survive amongst people who are in extreme poverty, depression, drug abuse, addiction, right? That's just how we survive as a species. Because imagine if you had to take care of everybody, if you cared about everybody when you don't have anything for yourself, when you yourself are struggling. It's impossible. Yes, write that down. Anyways, here's my music video that I'm gonna torture everybody with. Enjoy. How do I put it up? Where is it? Is it here? Okay. I guess I gotta be in the picture. All right, fine. Okay. Can I make this a little smaller? All right, here's my music.
Scroll the feed, watch their gilded hands, unboxing treasures from forgotten lands. $100,000 keychain gleams while we break our backs just to chase meager dreams. 3 jobs deep in this losing fight, processed meals for another night. Empty calories, empty hope, while we try to shut up and cope. They smile for the camera, we choke on the cost. In a world like this, who's the winner? Who's lost? Welcome to the Hunger Games. You had your suspicions, where they flaunt their gold-coated visions. We're drowning in debt just for somewhere to sleep, while the kings of the screen laugh at the secrets they keep. They unbox their luxuries, rub it in our skin, and we scrape for tomorrow just to barely begin. Healthcare's a luxury we'll never reach. Buy survival on a payment plan they preach. They post their mansions like a fairy tale dream, while we're stuck in the cracks of a system that screams. Cameras glitter on their perfect lives, fabricated smiles with sharpened knives. The rich climb higher on our broken spines. We bleed in the shadows while the spotlight shines. Their world is velvet, our world is rose, but both turn to ashes, both blow into dust. Welcome to the Hunger Games. You had a suspicion where it leads to champagne to their own fruition. We work 3 jobs, still falling behind, but they like our struggle out of sight, out of mind. They unbox their luxury, flaunting the trend, but we're the ones paid for their world of pretend. Plastic food, poisoned air, debt for housing. Don't you dare complain. Just smile for the system and pray you don't fall through the algorithm. Hunger Games, we're living through our phone, where the wealthy live stream from the golden throne. We claw for a future we can barely defend, while they keep unboxing. We're beginning of the end.
So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. But some other things that I thought I would mention is there is also a rise in elderly people because of how expensive everything is, more so than was predicted, right? So when you are saving up for retirement, you usually anticipate, like you go with your financial planner or whatever, and you're like, okay, you're going to be needing about this much to retire, right? And it was always very easy to predict. We always knew, okay, about this much, right? But then in the last couple of years, the inflation, the money printing, everything has been out of control. So we have a huge rise in older people being forced out of their homes that they planned to live in as, you know, as they retired, and they're living in vans, they're living in trailers, they're camping, they're becoming homeless. And this is elderly people who did work and did save are still in this situation. So these are not like lazy people who didn't plan ahead and that's their fault. No. This is, they did everything the system said and they are still in this situation. And also we have the rise in, I don't know if you guys have this where you're from, but this happened around 2020, right? So around 2020, I noticed that, you know, getting a normal haircut, like just a trim, right? It could be about $25. If you went to the fanciest place, it could be like $45. You're at a fancy salon in a nice area, right? A haircut. No color, no, just a freaking haircut or like a cut and a blow dry. That's it, right? $45. Now it is hundreds of dollars, right? And just a normal trim, no blow dry, no nothing, they're asking for $100. Barber shops are asking for $100 to shave men's heads. $100, right? This is absolute. I know that there's women that pay $1,000, but that's usually cut and color with like a famous. Oh, awesome. I never had any members before. I don't know what that means. I'm going to try to do like, when I get 5 members, I'm going to do like members only streams where like we can talk more shit about people because it won't be public. That should be fun. Guys, That'll be super fun. Okay, so we'll wait on that one, but it's gonna happen. It's totally gonna happen. We do like a whole stream making fun of Teriak in like the background. Anyways, so they have like these crazy, ridiculous people that, you know, would spend $1,000 because they were already rich. But I'm talking about the average woman. The average woman wasn't spending $1,000 getting her hair done. But now the average woman is spending $500, $600, $700 getting her hair done. Something that used to cost me $100, like I thought was like la creme de la creme hair job that I would do once every 6 months. Once every 6 months, right? Because I'm not making my hair short or anything. I would just get like a color refresh, whatever, because you know, when you do your own hair, sometimes you miss like some areas, and like they would go in, part everything, and make sure they got all the areas that you missed. Oh, awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. So we just need 3 more people and we could talk all the mad shit that we want. It'll be fun. So anyways, so I would just go to do that. Now, if I wanted to go, it would be $500, $600, $700, $800. There's no freaking way. And in 2020, when my hairstylist started charging my husband, it went from $45, which, you know, like I'm a jealous bitch, right? You know, I'm a jealous bitch. So I don't like a woman touching his hair, but he's like, I prefer a woman than like a gay man, because, you know, they'll hit on me because I'm so gorgeous. And I'm like, just deal with it. Like, who cares? Like, what is so wrong? What is so wrong about that? Anyways, thank you guys. Awesome. I don't even know if I set it up correctly, to be honest. But yes. So, all right. The hair thing has got out of control. As soon as that happened, I said, I'm doing your hair now. And you know, he doesn't want me to touch his hair, but because it was so expensive and, you know, he doesn't like spending a lot of money, I was able to get him to trust me. I got some hair, the trimmer things. I mean, I accidentally got one that's for animals, but they work the same, you guys. It's fine. It's quieter so they don't get scared. But anyway, so I got like the thing so like I could do the back of his head. We'll see what happens, you know. I don't win many things either. Yes, those clipper thingies. Anyways, so I got one of those. I got fancy professional hair cutting scissors. They were like $15 maybe. And they're very sharp. So like I kept cutting my fingers and I would bleed all over him. But eventually I figured out how to do it. And now his hair is 100 times better than when we were paying $45 for it. Now he doesn't let me cut it as much because he's very, you know, lazy. Like I need to like pin him down. Like, you got to hold still so I could cut your hair. And he'll let it go way too long. But when I cut his hair, it's always perfect. It's great. I haven't cut his ear off yet. So I'm winning as far as I'm concerned. Now I have cut my fingers, and the webbing between your fingers, sometimes like that gets cut, and that's like not good. But we are surviving. And I just want to say that we're doing great now. Anyways, the hair cutting is good. I started cutting my own hair. And since my hair is curly, you can't even freaking tell if it's cut or not, because what's the difference? Because it's going to be like different lengths anyways. It's not like I can cut it in a straight line that's going to stay in a straight line because it's curly. So who cares? You can't tell. Anyways, and I can't do bangs. Yes. Look, everybody needs a little help sometimes, okay? Yes. I would hope so, but he knows I'm only doing it so that no bitches touch his head. Because, you know, he likes to gab and stuff too. Like, why are you talking to these people? Oh, he did? He got his eyes done? He can open them now. That's pretty good. I mean, it's always important to open your eyes. I need to get my, like, if I had money and if I trusted a plastic surgeon that I can afford with my, like, no money, then I would get like my eye bags done. But then I realized I just have eye bags because I have severe allergies, because I choose to have my cats. One of them is sleeping right here. I choose cats over, you know, having a good under eye area, you know, like, so you can see like it's poofy. It's poofy. But you know what? It's fine because the cats are so cute and I prefer them. All right. Oh, well, I mean, what are you going to do? He went back to Japan and he went back to his cute girlfriend over there. I don't even know why he thought Florida was going to get him better than his Japanese girlfriends. No, 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 no. Florida sucks. Maybe. Yeah, look, guys, there's nothing wrong with plastic surgery. It's when you go too far. It's when you have young, beautiful women getting plastic surgery. That's when it becomes pathological. Like, you know, if you have like a little something, or if you just don't want to look, like, for example, like Steven has like this horrible wrinkle here and it looks like he's angry. So I'm always looking at him like, are you okay? Are you mad? Or is everything all right? And he's just like, I'm fine. I'm happy. How dare you? And I'm just like, oh, that's right. It's just that weird wrinkle you got there. So that makes people look a little angry or look a little sad, or it's like when you get older, you know, like the corners of your lips go down. So I have to like constantly massage it up so it doesn't get that, you know, depression look. Because if you do not massage your face and make sure you stay healthy and do all the things and have like a decent skincare routine, it's going to get a lot worse a lot fast. So I understand, you know, especially if you've been under a massive amounts of stress, you could look 20 years older that you don't even deserve. Anyways, so we also have the rise of a very low desire society. So what that means is it's similar to what was going on back in Japan when even I was a kid. Like they would do the bare minimum. They didn't want to have as many kids. They did the bare minimum because they realized at a certain point that more work didn't equal more money, didn't equal more success, right? And they would have one child and throw everything at this one child and burn them out. And only a few children, like a small percentage, would make it into one of like the 4 big companies. Thank you guys. It's awesome. Do I have any what's it called? GIFs? Or is that what it's called? Emojis. I tried to do some emojis. I'm going to try to do some like cuter emojis because I feel like they didn't come out cute. So I'm going to work on that. Yes. So anyways, now we have a low desire society in America. And that's why you see a lot of people who are just getting government assistance and they're checking out. Because if you work really hard and you know with all the hard work, you're not going to be able to buy a house. You're not going to be able to afford kids, because if you get kids, you're going to be on government assistance with them, living in a very dangerous area with them. They're going to have to go to very bad schools. They're going to be with kids who are maybe very violent or also depressed, come from a lot of drugs and alcohol backgrounds. So it just doesn't make sense. And I'm going to do something with probably on Saturday or maybe Sunday. We're going to do something on like, is it worthwhile to have kids right now in America? Like right now. Because healthcare, I think we're paying like $500-$600 a month for like the cheapest healthcare plan for each kid. So just I just want you to like put that into like, I don't have healthcare, by the way. Like I can't afford it. You know, like I just told my husband, just, you know, what are we gonna do? Like we can't afford it. So it is what it is. Yeah, everybody's it's really difficult, you guys. So we're going to talk about that this weekend, and let's see some other things that are going on. So car loans. They are giving people now who hardly have an income expensive cars with these huge monthly payments. And you have regular cashiers, whatever, with BMWs, Mercedes, leasing for exorbitant amounts of money. And then when something breaks or whatever, and they have to pay the luxury car fees for the car breaking, they realize they can't afford it and they're on TikTok crying. So I'll save you from watching all of those videos, but it shows that they were giving anybody a loan, which it's very irresponsible because you're basically putting them in the situation where not only are they going to lose the car and all the money that they spent for it, but like it ruins their credit. So it is what it is. And then we have the cost of living, and we're all trying to figure out like, how are we going to make it work? Right? Like, how are we going to be able to, if you didn't get a house by now, are you going to be able to get a house? And is it even worthwhile? Because whenever, and it's always the freaking uber wealthy. Once you reach a couple $1 million, rent actually is not that bad. If you keep your couple $1 million invested and it grows, and you can use some of that growth for your rent, you're good as gold. But if you're like the rest of us who don't have millions of dollars making compound interest that you can live off of, if you're just a regular person, you cannot rent. Renting is not just throwing money away. Renting is literally keeping you and your family away from ever having financial freedom, which financial freedom is a pipe dream for the majority of us, because we're never gonna, like if you don't own stuff now, you're gonna be a part of the own nothing and be happy. But it's not be happy because you'll actually be happy. It's like, you better be happy or then we'll take your social credits away. That's literally what they're doing. Yeah, and spending money on a fancy car is ridiculous. I'm sorry, you should not have that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is not good. Things are not going well. I definitely agree with that. You need to buy your car in cash. No more leasing, no more no. Just find you a car that is like less than 2-3 years old if you can, and just like save up the cash and just buy it cash, because we can't as a collective afford it. Most of us, even I would say 90% of the wealthy people that I know, that they have high powered jobs, they can't afford those cars. They're leasing because they couldn't afford to buy those cars. They need to be going back. But because when you have a certain status, like when you're like a doctor or like a high powered attorney or like whatever, a high powered real estate agent, like for working with the uber wealthy, you don't feel comfortable with a cheaper car, right? You just don't feel comfortable. That's why in Miami, for example, Miami is ridiculous. You'll have people who live in their childhood bedroom as 45-year-olds with BMWs that they're leasing, that they'll get nothing from, right? They spend their entire work paycheck to have this car, and then they live in their bedroom with their aging parents, right? It doesn't make any freaking sense. It's just a poor financial decision. But it's so many people, it's so normalized. I remember when I was a social worker, there was a girl, her entire paycheck went so she can get this high-end BMW. 100% of her paycheck. And her mom paid the insurance and whatever for it and the repairs for it. But what the heck is even happening in this world that you feel the need to like keep up with people? Like, I will go, look, you guys mention MLD, like he loves to make fun of me for like not having the fancy this or the fancy that, but like I'm freaking proud of it because I don't have to worry as much as the people who have all those fancy craps, right? It's just really stupid. Yeah, I feel like interest is a sin, period. It's a sin. I don't care. You could say whatever you want to say, but it's a sin. A sin. Sin. Okay. I don't want to blame boomers anymore. I think I've come on the other side where I don't blame the boomers for this. I blame the elites, and maybe the elites are boomers currently, but it's not like your mom and pa. It's not like regular people's parents, because my friends' parents and whatever that are boomers, they don't have a lot. They just don't. They don't have anything. They're not trying to screw their children over. They literally are like, I can't sell my house because the mortgage is so cheap and it's cheaper than a nursing home. So I have to die here. Also, I have to get Medicaid and Medicare. And when you get Medicaid and Medicare for all of your expenses at the end of life, you sign away your house to the government. They take it from you so that you can't give it to your children. But the children don't make enough to afford the boomer parents' medical care, right? And it's just, it's a terrible system because, you know, they would need to, like, one option would be have an extra bedroom where you can put your boomer parents in while they're aging and take care of them, and then sell the house and use that profit to help take care of them. It's not going to be much anymore. It's not going to be what you need, but you need to do that 5 years before they get sick, before they need it. And you know how nobody wants to be a burden to their children. And everybody blames boomers, but what I see in real life is not boomers wanting to be a burden. It's boomers saying, I'll work until I die so I don't have to hurt my kids' time, right? And it's not like they're not all terrible, selfish. These are just regular people. They're just like you and me in a couple years, right? Or me in like 10 years. I don't know. But it is what it is. So the only thing that you can do, guys, is just understand that your parents and your grandparents were screwed into a system just like we are, and have a little bit of compassion. And I know how it's fun to blame the left for it or the right for it. The fact is, they're all the elites and we are not. And they're going to do what's in their best interest and their children's best interest. And that is keeping the wealth in their hands, not with us. What? Yeah, look, I can't figure it out. No, it's just it's the regular cabal, not the boomer cabal. Don't call it that because they have kids and grandkids. It is what it is. Anyways, so you guys, you can't blame the boomers. They're a victim of the system that they were born into, just like we were. We all went to, I don't know if all of you guys, but like most of my friends went to school, got expensive degrees, expecting to be able to make enough to pay them back. Right? We wanted to pay them back. We thought we would make enough money. We didn't, unfortunately, right? We just didn't. The majority of my friends did not. Or if they did, they found a different industry that didn't even need a degree. And they started doing that. Or they made their own business somehow and they figured it out, right? The people who sold you out are in the World Economic Forum. They're not the boomers. Your grandparents and your parents didn't go to this meeting. They were not a part of it. So please do not blame them. They're just programmed Americans, just like the rest of us. Just like all the women now are programmed to unbox and to buy more stuff. Oh, and I'll have you know something. Back to the unboxing the women are all into now. When I started doing like influence, I did, what's it called? Instagram. I got on Instagram. Of course, I was first showing off my food, right? And then my girlfriend's like, oh, I show off my clothes and then they send me free clothes. And then I use that free clothes and I take pictures of them. And then that gets me more free clothes sent to me. And I get affiliate links. And sometimes I make a few bucks for the affiliate stuff. And I'm like, that sounds like an awesome idea. I only had like 1,000 people who followed me. They were all from high school. I knew them all, family and high school friends, right? So I became an influencer, like a micro influencer, and they started giving me free stuff all the time. I started getting invited to like luxury, whatever places, and they would give us the free stuff. Now, me being smart, I never used it. I never opened it. I took a picture, right? You take the picture, you post it, and then I sold it on eBay immediately. But I don't want like luxury stuff. I really don't care. That being said, it was, look, even with 1,000 followers, I got invited to that stuff. I'm still getting invited to Art Basel to go to these things with like these wealthy people and stuff like that. They'll invite cute girls to this stuff. all up and down. It is what it is. I don't go because like I'm married with kids. It's like ridiculous, right? But I still get invited. Just having an Instagram with like 1,000 followers is really, really crazy. That's the world we live in. But, the girls only get that treatment for a little while. And then the new batch of the youngins come in, and then they get influenced and they get brainwashed to expect these things. And, when you're a young girl and you only watch the Kardashians and reality TV, the Real Housewives, all this junk, and it rots your brains. And then you go online and you just post you trying on like Shein cheap clothes, and you get tons of followers, which are usually like guys who are going to be hitting on you or whatever it is, or other girls who are jealous of your clothes, which was my case. Then they're just going to be like, okay, more people are going to send you stuff and you're going to think this is normal. You're going to think this is normal. Well, but I remember before social media. So I know what is normal worlds and what is fake fantasy online world. I know the difference because I grew up outside. I grew up drinking from the water hose. I grew up, is it 10 p.m.? Go find your kids. That's how I grew up. So I know not to let that stuff get to my head. I know that that stuff is very fleeting. And I also know that these things that they give this artificial worth to, like the bags and the this and that, I don't even use a purse. Like, I refuse to use a bag. Right? So I was getting these free stupid things. I would take them and sell them. And then now I just have like it's literally like a leather fanny pack. Well, that's what we used to call them. Now they call them a belt bag because now it's chic. Thank God, because I hate putting stuff on my shoulder. I hate having to find a place to put it. So I wear like the most mom, like I don't care about life belt bag. It's leather. It's small. It's just tiny. It's small enough that I can take what I need, my wallet and my keys and my phone. And it's not big enough that Stephen can be like, can you put this in your bag? Can you put this? Because I hate that. Because that's the worst part about being a woman is everybody wants to put stuff in your bag. And then you're just like, your back is broken. Oh my God. Okay, so what are you guys talking about? Yes, I did. But now I would never do that because now I know about all the chemicals in it. That's probably why I had hormone problems growing up. No, not. I've already been picked, so I don't have to care about that. But I just don't want Steven to put anything in my bag to make my shoulders hurt. That's why. Yep. You don't miss that. Maybe you missed the time, but you shouldn't miss the quality of the water. We didn't know what city water was doing to us. Well, he doesn't have anywhere to put his stuff, so he actually has to carry a bag if he wants to take stuff. I think dudes need to carry bags, not feminine bags, like masculine bags, so they can leave the women alone because women shouldn't have to carry anything. Like I shouldn't have to worry about getting robbed because I have a purse. I feel like guys should have like a tactical bag that's like knife proof and like bulletproof. And like they have a little part like for like their weapons, their knives and their little pew-pews, whatever they got. And then they can just like, like I feel like guys should have that. And women should just be like frolicking, carefree, holding nothing. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely something they need to fix. We should really do something about pockets. I don't want bags. The fact that we don't have pockets, the pockets are so short you can't put your phone in because like the top part, like this much will stick out the back pocket. And then it's an easy steal then, right? So whatever, we don't want it. And we already talked about people boycotting Christmas because they can't afford it. And that's fine because it's just a stupid holiday. It's not about Jesus anymore. It's not about anything. I did see, there was a storefront in Japan, and they're trying to celebrate Christmas because I guess like this was when the Christmas idea started moving to Japan. So they didn't understand what Christmas was. And their idea of Christmas was they put Santa on the cross. So it's like Santa's like crucified on the cross. It says Merry Christmas. They tried, you guys. They tried. But the reality is we shouldn't be celebrating that stuff with cash and prizes. We should just be celebrating with our families. And they shouldn't take Thanksgiving away because we need to be thankful. That's all. Yes. He'll be fine. Anyways, so I will be back tomorrow. If anybody has any ideas, put them in the Discord server. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I will be back. Yeah, I know I think he was born in springtime or something, right? I think that's what it was. But either way, you can celebrate them anytime you want to. So you don't need the government to sanction holidays for you. You can make up your own holidays and you can do whatever you want to do. I am sure of this. A lot of times they just try to make you, force you. Oh, I think it was April 1st, right? Isn't that when? No, wait. April 1st was New Year's. And then if you continued to celebrate on New Year's, they called you a fool, hence April Fool's Day. So when was Jesus's birthday? Was it in the summer? I don't remember. Anyways, so we will chat next time, guys. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you guys can cook something from scratch and don't buy freaking chicken stock and chicken broth anymore. That's some weird toxic chemical that we found out today, and we will not be participating in that. But we will see you all next time. Bye, guys. Thank you all for...
The old gods whisper with tongues of sin. They crawl through culture to pull you in. Don't be for sale, don't wear their grin. The old are rotten, don't let them win. Eyes and heads and mirrored glass. They promised youth, they cursed your past. You drank the lie with ruby lips, but every toast is one